I gotta say, I was like this close to falling in love with Mayana Buring.
We're gonna be too late. It's a body recovery now.
No, it's not.
Wow.
I'm not losing a diver today.
The Last Breath stars Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole. And it tells the tale of a true story about a, dive team that one of them gets stuck down there and they have to go and save them, right? A true story that follows seasoned deep-sea divers as they battle the raging elements to rescue their crew mate trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface. Directed by Alex Parkinson. And the standout of this film is the acting. One of the things that I said right out of the theater was that this is kind of like a textbook, kind of almost a Hallmark type movie. But Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole elevate it to a cinematic experience for sure. If you look at the trailers for this, I think you'll see in the scope of it that they do a good job of shooting all the underwater stuff, and they encapsulate this fear of, I guess, drowning, but then of kind of like claustrophobia. You don't know where you are in the dark. There's things going on in the ship that kind of like freak you out, kind of like, well, would that really work? Would you really be able to rewire the system like that? But hey, as I said, this is based on a true story, and this is not the first iteration of this movie. I saw that there's like some documentaries out there. There's some other UK pictures that had tried to develop this story like 5 years ago, as you can see, 5 years ago, that pretty much encapsulate the same thing. And the movie opens up with a pretty haunting image of one of the divers there, and it kind of like sets the tone. So right off the bat, you're in it, and I gotta say, for the most part, this is a fairly enjoyable movie, coming in at about an hour and 33 minutes. It's pretty decent. Let's go to the score sheet and pull up some numbers here and see where we're starting to rank The Last Breath. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are 1 point each. Acting, well, as I said, Woody Harrelson is the best, right? It's competent acting. But I would say that there are a few scenes in here where Woody Harrelson puts on display that he is indeed the most talented actor out of this cast. But Simu Liu is also he's actually pretty good too, because he plays this stoic, kind of like, okay, I'm the tough guy, I'm the rigid, hard guy. But then when things start to throw down, you see a little bit that of, tenderness and concern in his eyes, which is played very well. And then Finn Cole is the guy that obviously gets trapped and, they have to go rescue him. I would say that, 1.5 for acting. Directing, now, all the technical stuff in this movie is handled well. The visual effects, all the B-roll shots of the ship going out to sea, and the pacing is actually fairly well done. The story, without a doubt, is compelling. So we're sitting at 1 for directing and story here, but because the story is so extraordinary, I do think they took a little bit of liberty with how deep they were and for how long he was out of breath. I think they might have embellished that a little bit, but he did survive some time without, guys, watch the movie because that's what you want to find out. And based on that, I would say that the story is 1.5, if not 2. There's just some execution in there that makes it a little bit Hallmarky, where I mean, if we got some foreshadowing on some stuff a little bit better, if we got some explanation as to, okay, well, how the boat works and stuff, that you could say, well, maybe that'll detract from the drama of it, but we kind of need that so that we know what the stakes are. It's just kind of like we're told, oh, the boat can't do this. Oh, the computers will need hours to reboot and stuff like that, so we got to figure out a different way. Well, if you had set that up, teed that up a little bit better, it would have a little bit more impact. Maybe I was overthinking it, but I'm sitting at 1 right now for directing, and I do want to reserve the right to come back and change that after we look at the audience scores. Cinematography. I will give the cinematography a full point, because as I said, that underwater stuff is extremely well shot. And they do set it up in a way, because they got to go into these tanks, right, and get pressurized. And you feel that, okay, we're getting locked into a small space with two other guys, and we've got to live in here for days. You feel that. That's executed well, and because of the way that they shot it, right? You get these long shots of like just the capsule, and it helps set tone and mood. The underwater stuff is also really well shot. Yeah, it could be on a soundstage somewhere, whatever. But you know, it's supposed to be the bottom of the ocean. You get the feeling that it's really cold because of the way it's shot. So I felt like that worked. Score, serviceable. It was serviceable. So we go back and let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying about The Last Breath. Ooh, 78% by critics. No audience scores yet as of 11 o'clock Friday morning. Let me reload the page here and see if we got some audience scores in yet. No. 78% though. That's pretty decent. It's a little bit high. Let's go and see what some of the snapshot reviews say. Digital trends, 3 out of 5. At a mere 93 minutes, Last Breath could use more complications. It's fairly gripping from the moment to moment, but also hemmed by its own sense of historical integrity. Yeah, let me just elaborate a little bit on that part. Let's go over to the IMDb, because as I said, there's some more complications on the boat part, where we do get in Mariana Buring and Cliff Curtis, who plays the captain, and they're making judgment calls. Okay, what can we do? Should we drop anchor? Oh yeah, and Mark Bonar, I think, dive supervisor, also. Like, there's conflict there. Should we make this decision or not? And if that was handled just a little bit more, we got a little bit more insight as to what was driving the captain to make these decisions, and we can actually see a little bit of like, shouldn't I do this? Yeah, maybe that would have added to a little bit more of the sensationalization of it, but Mariana Buring played the first officer. I gotta tell you, yes, I was a little bit, who is she? So I had to look up her IMDb. Slight, not stalking, please don't call it. No, I just wanted to look up her work. She caught my eye. Oh, she was in The Descent as Sam. Okay, Doomsday. The Descent. Wow, so was she the one that went crazy and tried to keep everybody else underneath? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, she's the one that gets stuck, right? And she kind of she freaks out. She does have a familiar look to her. Anyway, let's not digress. The Last Breath. Let's wrap up some audience reviews. Lightweight of a movie, not enough there. So that's just echoing like that Hallmark sentiment that I was talking about. Last Breath is a sleek, efficient thriller that sets you firmly in the moment of this dramatic retelling of a real-life deep-sea rescue. Random Mexican movie reviews. What? Liked because it's a true story. This is a great movie with wonderful acting, especially Woody Harrelson. There's a monologue in there about him talking about a rescue for a lobster boat. And it's not as great or grandiose as Quint's story from like Jaws, but it's because the way he's delivering and stuff, and that's why I said, yeah, Woody Harrelson's on full display here and showing you his chops. Not a bad movie. Tried to do drama and suspense, but missed the mark on an entertaining movie. So yeah, there's a few in there that are saying that perhaps, you know, it was a little too textbook, right? Textbook, and okay, here's the problem, here are the characters, they're going through the problem. We get a few minor emotions being displayed. Everybody gets saved at the end, and it's a happy kind of ending. It's a little bit like that, but I would say that there's more to it because it is based on a true story. You do get to see the footage of the real people at the end too, so stay tuned for that. I felt like overall it was a pretty pleasant experience. So let's go over and wrap up my score sheet for The Last Breath with the watchability factor, because it's an interesting premise, and because I said that it's this is a story that they've been trying to tell for a while now, and this is like the big Hollywood version of it. I can't say 6.5. Yeah, I'm gonna say watchability. I would watch it again for sure, because there are moments in there, and it's just Simu Liu just has this charisma about him where you're just like, okay, we know we're not supposed to like you, but then we know that you're also going to be a hero. You feel like there's going to be some story tropes in here where, okay, he's going to sacrifice himself or whatever, but it's actually handled really well. So I think that's about where I'm going to set 7 out of 10 for The Last Breath. And I feel good about that. All right, guys, are you going to go check it out this weekend? As I said, it's a quick hour and 33 minutes. It goes by pretty fast, and it's intense at times. It's not going to be a waste of money. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. If you like this kind of thing, come join us here on the channel Mirror Domains, because we do movie reviews. We do full live reactions for movies. Series like Reacher. Oh yeah, we're in the midst of Reacher. Next week we'll be doing Daredevil as well, and we're starting Survivor over on the Mirror Domains Reacts channel. Go check that out as well. It is a good time to be alive right now on Mirror Domains.